tonight to show you guys how I make my favorite condiment in the whole house. This is probably I want to say the third or the fourth time that I've made it. I don't know if you've ever heard of cowboy candy. It's basically candied peppers. But since I grow so many different kinds of peppers, I use sweet and spicy. Also, I make it into a relish, I guess you'd call it. So let's see if you can see that. It's chopped up. This is all I have left. I've gone through like 2 or 3 of these 32-ounce jars just by myself because my daughter doesn't eat them. Let's see if you can see that. See that? See how thick it is? This stuff is so good on burgers or hot dogs or really anything. You also can use the exact same recipe if you want and do like slices or rings. See how thick the gel? I'm trying a different camera angle instead of the one that's up here, so I'm hoping you guys can see more. But see how it's thick like a gel, and then you see? Anyway, you just spoon it on everything. Cream, you can put it on, I haven't done it yet personally, but you can put it on cream cheese, with crackers. I mean, literally anything you could possibly think of. It's so good. So I'm gonna show you guys how I make it. It's super simple. The only problem is that it's, you know, the cutting of the peppers, which I use a food processor, but you still have to cut the stems off. So whatever. I have 3 bags, 3 gallon-sized bags of assorted sweet and spicy peppers. I don't know if you can see that. This is just, I have actually 8 bags, see? I have 8 of these bags, and this is just from the last harvest, like, I wanna say December. So that's what I'm using. If you don't grow your own peppers, the best substitute I can think of, depending on how spicy you like it, would be those, I don't know if you know those, I think they're called like stoplight peppers or something. They come in a bag like this by the bell peppers, and it's got little mini sweet peppers, red, yellow, orange, green, something like that. So I would get like 1 or 2 of those bags, and then like a pound of, you know, whatever spicy pepper you like, or multiple spicy peppers if you want to do it really, it doesn't matter. There's so much sugar in this shit, you really can't taste anything, except for spicy, sweet, and vinegary. But yeah, so like a jalapeno, you could do some serrano if you like it really spicy, a habanero if you want, I don't know why, but if you want. Anyway, so first things first, I'm not gonna show the whole process of me cutting all this because it's like 2:15 in the morning here and I'm watching Judge Judy. So, all right, so here you can see some of the peppers, right? I sharpened a pair of scissors. I use this, it's easier for me. I sharpen them and wash them. And literally all I do is basically, I hope you can see that, is just, all right? Maybe 1 or 2, depending on the pepper. So like the size, this size, I would just do, they're still a little frozen. All right? And then basically, just do this. Because like I said, you're gonna throw it all in the food processor, so it doesn't even make a difference. Anyway, so I'm gonna go through and do all 3 bags of this. And I don't de-seed them either. I like the seeds, I don't care, they don't bother me. I grow so many peppers that like I've forced myself to adjust to the spice because there's so many of them. Either that, they just go to waste. Yeah, so you can de-seed them also if you want. If not, just leave them in like I did and cut the stems off. And then I'll be back in just a second to show you how I do this. You can do this with fresh or frozen, it doesn't matter because you're gonna cook it anyway. All right, that should be good right there. Perfect, okay. All right, so 45 minutes later. No, I'm just kidding, it doesn't take that long. So, here you go. That's basically what it looks like. Then you want to process them. So, I'm not gonna record the whole processing, but I'll do the first one just so that you guys can get an idea, all right? This is my first time doing it with frozen, if I'm not mistaken. So, I think what I'm gonna do is after I pulse them all, maybe I'll press them out and strain it a little bit. Or something, I'll figure it out by then. But I don't think it makes a difference. So, definitely don't want to turn it to like mush. So the next recipe I'm going to show you guys is how to make chili paste from scratch. So good. But the last time I made it in a 32-ounce jar. And I thought maybe because there was so much oil in it that, you know, it'd be fine. Whatever. It fucking molded in the fridge. I was so pissed. So this time I think I'm going to try. Number one, you can obviously can them and jar them, so, or make less, whatever. But this time I'm gonna try these IKEA molds that I bought for soap like 13 years ago and still haven't used them. And I'm gonna put the chili paste in these little squares, like an ice cube mold, something like that. And I'm gonna freeze it and then pop them out and see if I could put them in a Ziploc. And then because when I cook, I use about 2 spoonfuls. So I think it might be perfect in my head. I mean, we'll see. Anyway, this keeps in the fridge forever because it's loaded with vinegar and I also use citric acid. So here we go. Oh, it touched my face. You can use gloves too if you want. See that? Let me make sure it focuses properly. See the consistency of it? You want it to basically look like that. Isn't that pretty? This one has way more green than, you know, the last time. But I don't care. It all tastes the same. There's so much sugar and vinegar. Anyway, so this is perfect. And then you just want to dump that out. Right? And then the next batch. You know, it is spicy and you're blending up all these, you know, seeds and stuff. It's probably normal if you cough, you know, or whatever. When they go down the food process, the drain, and you grind up the thing, it burns your eyes and your nose, just so you know. All right, so I'm going to do the rest of this. Yeah, I'm gonna do the rest of this and then I will come back to you guys and show you where we go from next. This is all pretty easy after this. It's the, like I said, it's the cutting the steps off. Oh, before I forget, you know what this is great in if you're making like pot stickers or any type of like Asian-y food? and you make like your dipping sauce with soy sauce and, you know, fish sauce or whatever you put in it, scallions. Put a couple tablespoons of this. It's so good. Okay, I'll be back in just a second. All right. Now it's all chopped up. This is a shit ton of peppers. You don't have to make such a big batch. But I'm just trying to get it all over with. So here is, let's see how much that is. If I had to guess, this looks like an 8-cup measuring cup, easily full, maybe even like rounded over. So that's about as much as I'm doing. Okay, so I've decided what I'm going to do is make this pour. I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take all of these and put them in this big pot and kind of like, what's the word, sweat it? I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna cook it on the stove for a little bit, so maybe some of this water, all the moisture, will come out of it a bit. And then I'm going to make the, what's it called? The sugar vinegar stuff in this pot. And then when it's boiling and then this pot is ready, I think I'm just gonna pour this into it instead of, you know, the other way. So, all right, let me show you how we make this part. First, it's 6 cups of sugar. Yeah, so. Oh, and the word I was looking for earlier is the garbage disposal. When you run the garbage disposal after this, put a washcloth over your face. I'm not even kidding. You're gonna cough so hard from all the seeds. Or this makes a lot though, and it gives you a lot of extra syrup. Syrup, that's what it is. Okay, if you're using fresh peppers, obviously don't make it in this small pot because that's too much. You're gonna have to just start it in the bigger pot. You don't wanna, you know, boiling sugar burns so bad. All right, 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. If you don't have apple cider, I'd imagine you could use white vinegar. I went across the street today and got this, and if they didn't have it, I was gonna use white vinegar. So 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. I don't really know what the difference is, to be honest with you. This and distilled. Okay, so 2 teaspoons of salt. 1 teaspoon of mustard seed. You could probably leave it. I don't really know why we would put this anyway. So, if you don't have it, leave it out. And then it says 2 spoons of garlic. So I'm just gonna do 1. So really it'd be like 2 tablespoons. No, I said no. Yeah, so that's it right there. I'm going to get the camera and then I'll bring you to the stove and I'll show you how we finish this. You are gonna wanna obviously put this on the stove. You don't wanna like boil it. You know, you wanna bring it to like medium high-ish, but make sure you pay attention. Like I said, sugar gets hot as shit. It's like lava. I know this from experience.